Let's look at the numbers for our main event.
Ray, two things stick out to me. The height and the years pro. 7 years for DeLoach, and he's never lost to a guy under 5'10".
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in Los Angeles, it is now time for our PBC on FS1 main event of the evening. 10 rounds in the welterweight division. Brought to you by TGP Promotions and sponsored by Geico. Your three judges scoring this contest at ringside will be Carla Cais, Don DeBurgis, and Damian Walton. The referee in charge when the bell sounds is Ray Corona. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He comes in wearing the purple trunks trimmed with the green, weighing in officially at 146.5 pounds. His record, 19 wins, 10 of those coming inside the distance against 4 losses. Joining us from Augusta, Georgia, ladies and gentlemen, here is Justin, the chosen one, DeLoach. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. He comes in wearing the navy and the gold, weighing in officially at 147.75 pounds. His professional record, a perfect one. 10 wins, 7 of those coming by way of knockouts. Fighting out of Kaunas, Lithuania. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Eimantas Stanionis.
Fighters 2 seconds. So he can't see that. All right, gentlemen, gave you instruction. Look at his belly button's right there, so anything right here down is low. Same thing, anything down here is low, okay? You guys want to touch gloves, do it now. God bless.
Referee in charge, Ray Corona, in his 20th year as a referee, 565 fights. Eimantas Stanionis and Justin DeLoach, 2 former pupils of Ronnie Shields, mixing it up here as DeLoach now trained under Sylvester Clark. We saw him against Livan Navarro on August 22 here on FS1. A first-round knockout. Stanionis looking to remain undefeated. He says, I'm relatively unknown to the boxing public, but I'm going to make a definitive statement and prove that I belong in the upper echelon of 147.
Ray, I'm going to go ahead and say this now. 19-4 is misleading. DeLoach is good. He's a good boxer. And when he's on his game, he can beat the best guys out there.
Well, Marvin Somodio told me that he called Freddie Roach this morning to reiterate the strategy, as Marvin Somodio is a protege of Freddie Roach. He's been with Freddie since 2012, since he moved here from the Philippines, working with Manny Pacquiao. For DeLoach, a new trainer for him as well, Sylvester Clark, former amateur standout in the Army, actually retired from the Army back in 2015. We thank him for his service. But this is the first pro fighter that Sylvester Clark has had, so could there be any issues in their first fight together with DeLoach?
You know what, both guys are boxing good right now, doing what I expected them to do. Stanionis is stalking DeLoach, using his jab, got rocked right there with the left hook, I think it was.
Let go of him.
Big left hook by Stanionis.
They're doing the right thing by clinching. To your question, I can't really speak on Clark, but I can speak on Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach is always at the gym, so even though he may not have been training Stanionis directly, he knows exactly what's going on and what Marvin expects.
Well, Freddie was around Stanionis. They actually started off together when Stanionis made his professional debut. Then he went to Ronnie Shields for a few fights, and Ronnie said that it didn't work out because they couldn't find high-quality sparring in the Houston area because it costs money to bring in sparring, and there just wasn't the amount of 147-pounders necessary to give him the proper sparring. That's why he came back here to Los Angeles to train under Marvin Somodio, and incidentally, it was supposed to be their first fight together, but due to COVID-19, and that has since been proven negative for Marvin, so it was a false positive that Marvin tested with.
Listen, Ray, let's get back to the fight. DeLoach is 19-4. He didn't get there by accident, but he's had a lot of mental lapse in those 4 losses. Right now, he can't afford to have a mental loss. He's got hit with a big hook, and it seems like he's a little rattled right now in trying to figure out exactly how to box Stanionis.
Well, DeLoach losses to the likes of Jason Rosario, also Nate Gallimore as well. He came up short in a split decision to Terrell Williams. over a year ago, he said in that fight he just didn't push the pace enough.
And it's interesting what I'm seeing right now. Stanionis is taking his time. Hands are up. He's fighting strong, which can present mental problems for fighters. The guy's right there. He's right there. It does something to you mentally. But he's not wasting any shots, wasting no offense, no defense. And right now, he's making DeLoach move, making DeLoach punch, and making DeLoach uncomfortable.
And that ends the first. Eimantas Stanionis, Justin DeLoach will come back with the second. Justin DeLoach looking to make a statement. Sean, what does he have to do in order to get the win over the unbeaten prospect?
Box, baby, use that jab. You got a guy who likes to stalk you, keep him at bay. Stay composed. You're going to get touched. Keep your composure and continue to step around and make Stanionis use his feet.
For Stanionis.
Stanionis, he's doing it right now, putting the pressure on. You got to have mean intentions, work behind those hard shots, and mix up the attack up and down.
Justin DeLoach professed to us he wants to follow in the footsteps of the former world champions from Augusta, Georgia, the late, great Vernon Forrest, who was the former welterweight champion of the world, passed away over 10 years ago, and also Paul Williams, who picked up his most successful win over Antonio Margarito 15 minutes away from here. So DeLoach looking to become the third.
Can't believe it's been that long.
Right now, Eimantas Stanionis, he doesn't want to wait too long to move up and sort of start to tangle with guys like you at 147.
Yeah, I mean, and when you got a style that works, continue to use it. You know, and what I'm seeing right now is the patience that's required at my level. You got to be patient along with being aggressive.
DeLoach being walked down by Stanionis, but boxing well off the back. He steps in with the left hook.
And you know what? This was another key that I had. I didn't give it to you guys, but DeLoach has to hit Stanionis and hurt him. Hit him with something and let him know that he's in the ring with a guy who can hurt him as well.
I asked Ronnie Shields to break down both men. He said Stanionis is constantly working hard and all pressure. When it came to DeLoach, he stated that DeLoach starts well, but there are times where he fades in the fight and have those mental lapses.
It probably comes from the gym. There's things that you're doing and aren't doing that causes those mental lapses, which carry over into a fight. But I got to tell you right now, Stanionis really has found a home for that left hook.
Stanionis with a high guard, but he uncorks that left hook. And it's a sharp left hook as well, Sean, as we're coming up on 70 seconds to go here in the second.
It's very sharp, and the thing about it is orthodox fighters, typically we keep our right hand at home until we want to let it go. However, DeLoach has his right hand below his chin and is leaving himself open for that left hook.
That's been a problem for Justin DeLoach, is that he has his hands low and then he gets clipped with the big shot. It happened against Gallimore. It happened against Jason Rosario as well.
It's crazy because it's a part of who you are, and not only that, big right hand right there from Stanionis. Not only who you are, but what you do that makes you feel comfortable. We all want to be comfortable in the ring, but will your comfort lead to your success?
Eimantas Stanionis represented Lithuania in the 2016 Olympics. When I asked him why he didn't decide to pick up basketball, he said, you know, boxing, I started off in MMA, but then I fell in love with boxing.
He said he wanted a challenge. He said he was doing well in MMA and mixed martial arts and things like that, and he says boxing gave him the challenge that he wanted.
You gotta stop at the
he
belt,
certainly has his most difficult challenge and his most high-profile opponent, Justin DeLoach, as 2 rounds are in the books.
Got that mouthpiece in?
Back here at round 3, Justin DeLoach outlanding Eimantas Stanionis 34-19 and out throwing him 130-72. Much thanks to Justin Goodman, also Mark Ortega for the numbers all night long.
Yeah, even though he's outlanding Stanionis, is he hurting Stanionis? You got to land something that's going to hurt him.
Well, the one item that Sylvester Clark told me is that he worked with Justin about using his height and his reach, along with gaining the proper leverage behind his punches.
The thing that I heard in the corner, which is very true, keep your right hand up. That's what he was telling DeLoach. And not only that, defend that jab. Stanionis is landing jab after jab right now, and that's not even his strongest punch.
What's interesting, too, is Stanionis stated even though he was an Olympian, he feels that his style is better suited for the pros. He claims that he has the Mexican style, the come forward, aggressive nature that Mexican fighters implore.
And you see it, you don't see the punch rate that a lot of those Mexican fighters have, but you definitely see the action and him pushing guys back and making a fight when those other guys don't want to fight.
And Ray Corona will separate the two. The way I would describe Eimantas Stanionis is he has judicious economical punching. He doesn't waste much motion.
Listen, you just used two big words, and I'm gonna allow you to have those words. And I'm gonna just speak on what I see him doing. He's using a great jab, and he's going to the body too, mixing it up, and he's taking his time. You know, and along with that, Justin on the other hand,
a left hook to the body that backed up DeLoach.
Yeah, use your jab and continue to step around. Be patient.
There's a left hook that sprayed DeLoach. What do you think DeLoach needs to do in order to get into his rhythm?
He's got to be patient. You know, he can't allow his mind to run wild with this guy just walking him down.
Okay, step back.
Continue to step around. Continue to use your jab.
I tell you, put your arms out. That's first warning, all right?
Ray Corona warning Justin DeLoach. See what that infraction was about. There's another left hook by Stanionis.
And I don't know, great step over move by Justin to make him miss that jab. Now it's about mixing it up, going both ways, and making Stanionis not only use his feet, but make him move in ways he's not used to. This is
good movement on the inside.
That's what Justin doesn't want to be, though. He doesn't want to stoop down and get so low.
Are you surprised that DeLoach isn't using his 5-inch reach advantage and fighting on the inside with Stanionis?
Well, here's the thing. You got a guy who's trying to, and then you got a guy who's not allowing that to happen. Stanionis got a great jab of his own.
Body work between these two as we near the conclusion of our third frame.
Third round. That's going to pick up as well, those body shots. That'll pick up.
On to round 4. So Justin DeLoach has had ups and downs over the course of his career. He was stopped by Nate Gallimore and then also came up short against Jason Rosario, but no knock against that, against the former super welterweight champion of the world. But he has been successful as well.
I promise you, DeLoach is a problem when he's on, but when he's off, he has problems. And tonight, I can't tell which DeLoach we got.
We are on to the 4th round. Eimantas Stanionis, the 2016 Lithuanian Olympian, looking to remain undefeated. Justin DeLoach looking to win his 2nd straight. He was victorious over Livan Navarro. You saw highlights of that. But right now, DeLoach is trying to figure out the forward aggression of Eimantas Stanionis.
He's got to counter that jab, too. He's not countering Stanionis' jab, not giving Stanionis anything to worry about after his offense.
Could it be the fact that Stanionis does not respect the power of DeLoach?
Definitely. I mean, I don't think Stanionis respects anyone's power. It won't happen. That respect won't come until it's too late for Stanionis. But on the other hand, it's proven to work for him because he's not going to stop coming forward. And the best thing about it is he's coming forward behind his jab.
The one item that stood out in talking to Ronnie Shields, the former trainer Stanionis, and also Marvin Samodia, who's sitting at home watching this, the lead trainer Stanionis, is the work ethic. They said that Stanionis constantly works so hard in the gym and is always in tip-top shape.
Well, when you work hard and then you come to the ring with that kind of work ethic, you're telling yourself it's only a matter of time. Just keep working. Just keep working. And because I'm a workhorse, I know how that is. So he's going to keep coming forward. And Justin right there, he tried to counter. Now he's trying to counter.
He steps in with a couple of right hands, partially blocked by Stanionis. This is a good barometer there for Stanionis to see where he is, if he can crack that fringe contender status.
Yeah, I agree. Justin DeLoach, even with having 4 losses, is that name and even the type of fighting style you need to be in the ring against to show people what you really have.
Moments ago, DeLoach got sprayed with the left hook.
Let's go, put your arms up. Let's go, take a step back.
Stanionis has a nice tight guard, but then when he unloads on you, it is almost like in a machine gun-like burst.
Yeah, you don't see it often. The ones I see that do it, A lot of European fighters have that kind of style. Also, African fighters, they have that shell defense, and then they kind of explode on you out of nowhere. And that's a problem for DeLoach because he doesn't know when the punches are going to come.
And I feel like with Eastern European fighters, they are awfully hard to break mentally.
Yeah, they are. I don't know. It's something about those guys over there in Europe. Whatever they do, they have very strong, a very strong mental toughness.
Well, a weapon of choice for Eimantas Stanionis has been the left hook. That has been clobbering Justin DeLoach at points of the fight. The Olympian seeming to be in control against Justin DeLoach. So Eimantas Stanionis was part of that 2016 Olympic class representing Lithuania. He's trying to join the likes of Shakur Stevenson, Katie Taylor, Clarissa Shields as becoming champions. Well, a victory over Justin DeLoach would point him in that direction, at least to becoming a contender.
Yeah, and he's doing the right things right now, just being aggressive and taking his time. When you want to move up to the next level, you get up against someone who can really challenge you, and that's what Stanionis has decided to do in taking on DeLoach.
Jordan Plant is standing by with Freddie Roach.
Yes, thank you, Ray. Freddie, Stanionis is having success with that jab. I heard you telling him to double it up. He's not doing it so much, but what else would you like to see him do more of?
Well, his opponent is kind of moving into the right hand, and I think the overhand right would be there for him also. I'd like to see him land that shot, but he just needs to be a little bit busier, I think, and hopefully he knock this guy out, get him out of there. He doesn't belong in the same ring with Stanionis, in my opinion.
And is there a certain punch that you think Stanionis can knock DeLoach out with?
He drops his left hand so badly, the overhand right will not come out if he throws it.
All right, we'll see if it happens. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Jordan. Well, speaking of knockouts, Stanionis, the last time he was in the ring, he finished off Julio Cesar Sanchez back on December 21 of last year. So he has had a period of inactivity of 319 days, but so far he is showing no ill signs of that ring rust, Sean.
You know what, let me say this about Stanionis in reference to what Freddie wants. It's been jab, it's been left hook, and it's been body shots. No overhand rights, really no straight rights. So once that punch does come, which I anticipated doing, it'll catch DeLoach by surprise. Right there could have been an opportunity.
He literally just threw it as we are just over the midway point of the fifth.
Yeah, he's got DeLoach. If anything, DeLoach is worried about the left hook. Right hand's up. He's leaning a little bit more to the right. In doing so, he's keeping the left hand down, and he's leaving himself wide open for the overhand right that Freddie was talking about.
A left hook to the body by Stanionis. Throwing back, though, is DeLoach. Numerically, though, Sean, it would appear, though, as DeLoach is landing more punches, but the more eye-catching and bigger shots came by way of Stanionis.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hard part about judging the fight. What are you looking for, and what do you see? Are you looking for big power punches, or do you see the flashier, faster guy being the winner of the fight? Right now, I think that even though DeLoach is busier than Stanionis is winning this fight.
Also, I would have to say that Stanionis is pushing the pace, so ring generalship certainly has to be something that the judges are cognizant of.
Absolutely, and the other thing that I have to say is even though Freddie wants the overhand right, I want the overhand right, that left hook might be the ticket tonight.
We just threw that left hook that nailed DeLoach. DeLoach tying up as we near the end of the fifth.
We say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And he's still throwing the left hook and it's landing.
One right hand fight's over, I promise you. Let's go to work, come on.
Well, Stanionis has been consistent with his body attack, landing at least 2 body shots every round and 8 in the third, but Freddie calling upon that right hand, Sean.
Yeah, it's wide open. I agree with Freddie. But, you know, again, like I said before, you kind of lure a guy to sleep when you don't throw certain punches. And I really do. I believe it's going to be the left hook that we're seeing that's going to be the ticket for him. However, as I agree with Freddie, that overhand right could be the shot if he throws it.
Stanionis with a 70% knockout percentage. Meantime, for Justin DeLoach, this is his second time fighting within the confines of the bubble due to COVID-19. He said he learned a lot in that first fight and is more seasoned when it comes to the preparation that you need to employ.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. At this point, Stanionis is not only breaking down DeLoach physically, body shots, now wrestling with him a little bit, pushing up against the ropes. He's going to get busier to the body and the head at this point. Us being in the 6th round, not only that, but he's breaking them down mentally. He's not taking any steps back since this fight began, and I don't anticipate him doing that. And I know at this point, DeLoach is not expecting him to do that either.
We've talked to several fighters that have fought you, Sean, and they say that the one item about you physically, but it's also the mental pressure that you bring.
Yeah, I mean, a lot like Stanionis, I think there's that counter right hand right over the top of that jab that DeLoach had thrown. It's good timing. It's just got to be the right time. That one wasn't it. But yeah, just going back to what you were saying, I'm that kind of guy. I'm going to stand in your face. I'm going to smother you, hurt you, and not only break you down physically, but mentally. That's why I know exactly what I'm seeing right now in this fight.
A left hook to the body again by Stanionis. That has been a big weapon, the primary weapon from the power punching department of the Lithuanian Olympian. As we approach a minute to go here in the 6th.
And you got to wonder, too, because Freddie's called for the right hand. You got to wonder, is he not seeing what Freddie wants? Or there's the overhand, right? Like right there. Is he not confident that it'll land? If he throws and it doesn't land, then he's going to go away from it.
How much does DeLoach need to start setting some traps or at least throw more as Stanionis comes forward?
I feel like he's been trying to set traps basically since definitely the 3rd round. He stopped moving just to his left. He started moving back to his right. He's changed his levels up and down. I really do feel like DeLoach has done just about all he can do in this fight. And at this point, he really is just holding on and looking, waiting for a big punch.
Do you think that Sylvester Clark, with this being his first professional fighter, has a plan B or a plan C to try to combat what we're seeing out of Stanionis?
No. I'm sure they trained to DeLoach's strengths and not his weaknesses. And a weakness right now is not being able to push Stanionis back.
But it is the fundamentals of Eimantas Stanionis that are proving beneficial for the Olympian.
Hooks to the body, and then he's going to come back up to the top with the left hook as well. The jab, proven to be way more effective than even I expected to be in this fight. DeLoach is moving straight back. He's not turning. He's not making quick, fast twitch movements to make Stanionis hesitate and stop punching. Stanionis is going to continue to move forward like we just saw in those replays. And at this point, I feel like it's only a matter of time outside of DeLoach landing a big punch.
On to round 7, Ray Flores, Sean Porter, Jordan Plant here in Los Angeles for weeknight boxing. The one item that stands out for Stanionis is he is exhibiting quite a bit of maturity in his first main event. You know what it's like having your first televised main event, the energy and the nerves, but that doesn't seem to be an issue for Stanionis.
You know what, I agree, but the atmosphere is right as well. You know, he doesn't have a crowd right now. No one's really in his ear saying or doing the things that would throw a fighter off.
With more on Justin DeLoach, here is Jordan Plant.
Thank you, Ray.
There you go.
Hey, Coach, you were telling him, keep boxing, and that's what you want to do if it gets a big puncher. What else do you want to see him do in this fight?
I want to see him keep moving. His movement is great when he moves. Keep his right hand up. He got to keep that right hand up. But now we attack that left side. Now we're going for his right side. We're going for this side over here. Want him to double jab and throw that right hand.
And do you think that maybe he can incorporate some feints to slow down Stanionis and freeze him?
Definitely.
All right, thank you, Coach. Back to you, Ray.
Sean, what do you think of those instructions? Or the mindset?
You got a guy who's using a shell defense. You have to do something to hurt him. The way you hurt a guy who's using a shell defense, touch the body and touch the arms. It's going to wear his arms down, open up that defense. I agree. He has moved mostly to the left and now starting to move to the right to open up the straight right that he wants. But I think he's got to hurt Stanionis first before he tries to rip off a fast combination like a double jab right hand.
There's a left hook by Stanionis, and again, that left hook has proven to be just so beneficial for the Lithuanian Olympian. And there's that right hand. DeLoach complaining about hitting behind the head. But Sean, how difficult is that when someone's turning his head to sort of try to bring your punch back midway?
Yeah, it really is hard. The other side of that is Stanionis recognize what your guy's doing. I've seen it now for a few rounds. DeLoach's defense now has become lean to his right and then move to his right. So he's leaning to your hook, but he's leaning low enough for you to miss the hook. So you got to redirect some of those shots.
The one item coming into this fight, as Stanionis was a sizable favorite, as DeLoach was more than a 3-to-1 underdog, was can DeLoach keep up the pace with Stanionis? And so far, that doesn't appear to be the case.
Yeah, I mean, DeLoach is outthrowing and outlanding.
Oh, there's a left hook that wobbled DeLoach. Now Stanionis going on the attack. Double left hooks, followed by a crushing right hand. DeLoach in serious trouble. My goodness, Stanionis looking to finish off the Augusta, Georgia native.
And that's a great punch selection. You saw the hooks and the uppercuts.
Chopping right hands, DeLoach clearly buzzed as his knees were buckled towards the end of the 7th.
Great end of the round there.
Boy, oh boy, Justin DeLoach was wobbled as he got blasted with heavy shots from Eimantas Stanionis.
Relax, relax.
Right here, you're going to see jab sets up everything. Sets up the big right hand, which wobbled DeLoach. And then after that, being experienced, hey, 10 rounds is enough, 10 fights is enough. I know what to do, jump on him. And that's exactly what Stanionis did. He did the right thing. Not only hooks, uppercuts. Here comes the uppercut. Where is it? There it is. Let me find this guy. Where is he at? There's the uppercut. Clean as day. And then right back. Once you pick a guy up with the hook, the uppercut, you throw the left hook. And that's exactly what Stanionis did there.
You can get it.
Just working his hands.
If you get hurt, hold it. There's a hook. That's why I tell you, go the other way. Go the other way. Right. And when you go that way, ain't nothing you can do.
It's going to come out strong.
Okay. And if you go that direction, you got to go all the way over. All right.
Sylvester Clark told DeLoach there was a hook that got you. DeLoach didn't even see what he got hit with.
No, I don't think he did. Here's the big thing. You're asking your guy, especially against Stanionis at this point, to do a lot.
And don't forget, Eimantas Stanionis with the 70% knockout percentage. There's a big right hand that may have hurt DeLoach again.
There it is. So the first right hand set it up. That's what Freddie's been asking for. Now that was more of a looping overhand right. A punch that through 8 rounds, Stanionis has only thrown a handful of times. It's bound to land at this point.
In the 7th, Stanionis landed a fight-high 19 punches. And Stanionis with a cerebral aggression as he is walking down Justin DeLoach.
You know what? It's very much cerebral, and I think these judges see it as well, even though, again, DeLoach is outthrown and outlanded Stanionis. Stanionis is still the one carrying and winning this fight.
Well, DeLoach, I give him credit. My goodness, has he shown a chin, because for most, that would have put their opponent down, but DeLoach still remains upright.
You know what? I was hoping for more out of DeLoach in this fight, and I knew that his experience would carry him through this fight. But not only has he had experience in beating undefeated fighters, but he's been hurt against some of those guys as well. So he's had to fight against being hurt, and he knows what to do.
Well, speaking of the experience, though, could it be the fact that now, as DeLoach is sort of shying away from the combat, is it the fact that DeLoach is of the mindset, now I just need to survive the full 10 rounds?
Yeah, I can't say that DeLoach has that mindset. I think DeLoach he's definitely going to try to survive, but he's definitely still going to look for an opportunity to win this fight.
The reason why I say that, Sean, as we are approaching 70 seconds to go in the 8th round, is because he hasn't thrown much as he's moving around the ring. So we haven't seen him throw much and sit down on his punches. So that's why it would appear, to my perspective, that he's just trying to at least clear the cobwebs to head towards the 9th.
I got to tell you, the rhythm was all off from the beginning of this fight for DeLoach. And the rhythm will continue to be just this, him moving back, leaning out of the way of shots now, opposed to keeping his hands up and actually defending himself with punches.
40 seconds remaining here in the 8th. Eimantas Stanionis.
There you go.
that was one thing I saw out of Stanionis in watching film. He doesn't
Put your
cut
head
off
down
the
so
ring.
low.
Again, you know, you're stalking your guy, you're walking him down, but if you cut off the ring, you'll be able to be more effective once you catch up to him.
There's a right hand followed by a left hook by Stanionis. Now Stanionis uncorking a combination at close distance as he tries to get inside of Justin DeLoach.
And check this out real quick.
belt, gentlemen.
Hook and then uppercut. The two hooks will make a guy open his hands up to block, and it opens up the middle for the uppercut.
With DeLoach no stranger to hitting the canvas, he's been down 4 times over the course of his last 5 fights. And Stanionis is hoping to add to that mark as the left hook, there's that big right hand that caught the attention of Justin DeLoach.
Big right hand right there. We're going to see more of that. We might get a knockout before this night ends.
Freddie Roach has been calling upon the right hand, and it has been serving him well. But again, that left hook has been connecting at will for the 2016 Lithuanian Olympian.
And he's doing the right things. You're throwing hooks to make a guy get his hands up, and then you're coming right up the middle. That's what you love to see out of a young guy like that. You like to see him using his brain. And you can see him using his brain because of his punch selection.
Relax, move, let your hands go. All right?
So for Stanionis, this is his first time into the 9th round. For those of you tuning in for the Spring League football game between the Alphas and the Conquerors, it is currently airing on FS2. We will get you out to the football game immediately right here on FS1 at the conclusion of PBC Fight Night. So now with Stanionis, this is the first time he's entered the 9th.
I just heard Clark tell DeLoach, stay relaxed and use your jab. He wasn't relaxed when he got here, and Stanionis is not going to allow him to relax.
Well, from the outset, Stanionis has pretty much been on top of Justin DeLoach.
Yeah, jabs. I'm loving Stanionis' jab. I think that's the one thing in this arsenal that I didn't expect that he's used very well is just the basic punch, man, the jab.
And I'm loving the left hook as well because he sits down on it and he unloads it at short distance. It doesn't take him long to land that left hook.
Yeah, I agree. He's got fast twitch right there with that left hook. And you know, DeLoach hasn't made it hard for him to land that left hook. So he's definitely found a home for it, but now it's time for that right hand that we want to see.
And also, Stanionis fights very physical, much like you do as well, Sean. I mean, just big, broad shoulders, muscle definition, but they fight physical.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Even the jab to the body is strong, and there's mean intentions behind the basic jab to the body. Every punch that he throws with mean intentions.
Dare I say that Stanionis is bullying around Justin DeLoach.
Yeah, you know, it's hindsight, but what I wanted to see out of DeLoach, now looking at it, this kind of movement. Oh, he's hurt.
There's a right hand
He's hurt.
by
He's hurt.
Stanionis. A left hook, and down goes DeLoach.
Good body shot.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Want to continue? Walk over there.
The 5th time in his last 6 fights that Justin DeLoach has been down.
Huh? All right, let's go.
Can Stanionis get the finish against Justin DeLoach in his most high-profile victory? Stanionis swarming DeLoach with a couple left hooks to the body, and then he came upstairs, crushing right hands.
It's going to be everything. It's going to be hooks, uppercuts, overhand rights. He's hurt.
And
this
down goes
over.
DeLoach for the 2nd time in the fight.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Want to continue? Walk over there. Walk over there and come right back to me. Hands up. Want to continue? All right, let's go.
This fight's over.
Eimantas Stanionis trying to finish off Justin DeLoach. A couple left hooks. Ray Corona watching the action. Stanionis aggressive, trying to end the night of DeLoach.
Is it going to be the hook or the overhand right?
There's a left hook followed by a right, a left hook that
hook
wobbled
overhand
DeLoach.
Right. Which one? Hook or overhand right?
DeLoach is in a heap of trouble as Stanionis unloading, and this one is over as Eimantas Stanionis has now graduated to being a contender with a 9th round victory over Justin DeLoach.
That was a tough fight for DeLoach.
He broke him down physically and mentally, and Eimantas Stanionis remains undefeated, elevating his record to 11-0.
Here's the first knockdown, barrage of punches, but he hit him with a left hook that started that, and then it was the left hook to the body. And then here's the second knockdown. And it was everything, hooks and overhand rights. I wanted to know which one he was going to land to knock him out. You wouldn't tell me.
And there is a victorious Eimantas Stanionis who elevates his record to 11-0. And Sean, he looked mightily impressive.
He did a great job. You know, we expected the aggression out of him. A great left hook that he's thrown throughout the fight. Even more impressive for me was the jabs that he was landing on DeLoach. And those moments where he was landing and hurting DeLoach, he recognized those moments. A lot of young fighters don't recognize those moments, believe it or not, Ray. And those moments, he capitalized, jumped on DeLoach. Barrages of punches, not just to the head, but also to the body. We always like to see that from a guy who doesn't have much experience. And then there's that big overhand right that Freddie was calling for. Body shot put him down right there after a big left hook that hurt him. And then he comes back in right here. Barrage of punches. Ray, I asked you, was it going to be the left hook or the overhand right? Why didn't you tell me?
You know what? Look, I thought it was a multitude of things, Sean. And it was, you know, what I liked about Stanionis is he did it in a calculated way. What stands out to you numerically?
I mean, the tables turned a little bit at the back end, but the thing we didn't see was the percentage, and that's why Stanionis was winning this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 2 minutes, 53 seconds of round 9. Referee in charge, Ray Corona, waves off the contest for your winner by knockout and still undefeated, Eimantas Stanionis. So Eimantas Stanionis with his most high-profile victory to date with the win over Justin DeLoach.